But before we go off the air, I do want to give my brief thoughts on the Austin and Heyman podcast. Nothing too much to, write home about. I thought it was an enjoyable podcast, nothing amazing, but just the chemistry these two have, and I commend Stone Cold for not asking similar questions. I mean, it was kind of hard, for those people that have already listened to his interviews with Heyman before. He's had him on his podcast at least 2 or 3 times before. He's had him on, a number of times back in 2014 on at podcast1.com, or you can download it. I listen to it every week. It's a great podcast. But yeah, they kind of told some stories they haven't before. They talked a little bit about CM Punk and his upcoming UFC career, Brock Lesnar being a special attraction, all the basic questions you would think would be asked, until you get to the final few minutes where Heyman brings up, "Can I ask you a question?" Austin says, "Sure." He asked them, "Will you wrestle one more match? Will you face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 32? The $1 million question we all want to know the answer to. And Austin, basically from that point forward, he was either in shoot mode or it was scripted. I don't know, but whatever it was, whether you think it was scripted or it was a complete shoot or whatever it was awesome. It was intense, and I loved it. I thought it was great. And it was enough. It succeeded in what it set out to do in getting people talking. The rest of this podcast was nothing like as groundbreaking as the podcast that Austin did with Triple H and Vince McMahon a number of months ago. He and Jericho have 2 very different interviewing styles. I love them both for that. I think Jericho is a little bit more conversational. That's what Austin had on the show as well. It wasn't as much of an interview. It wasn't as much of an interview as it was, a basic conversation, an old-time conversation between 2 longtime friends. So that's what I enjoyed about it. But you get to those final few minutes, and it gives the viewers something to buzz about, something to talk about. And, oh, did you miss the Austin podcast? Did you hear about this? Did you hear what he had to say about Brock Lesnar? Go back and check it out. I might just have to. I think that's pretty cool. Could it be leading to something? Did he talk about WrestleMania 32? That sounds awesome. I'll go sign up for the network right now. Stuff like that. Even if it was a shoot or if it was, a scripted, that's probably what it set out to do. And it succeeded. People were buzzing about that on Twitter all of last night and all of Tuesday morning. I thought it was great. In a perfect world, do we see Austin versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 32? At this point in time, I don't think so. I would love to be proved wrong. I was proved wrong when Lesnar re-signed with WWE earlier this year. I was proved wrong when Samoa Joe signed with WWE earlier this year. So anything can happen. Anything is possible. Never say never in the wrestling industry, much less WWE. Because it's true. Anything can happen. So I'm looking forward to what happens with Austin and Lesnar come WrestleMania 32. Whether he wrestles the match or not is uncertain. I think if there's any place for him to do it, it's next year. If it doesn't happen next year, it's not happening at all. If it's not going to happen in AT&T Stadium, in Arlington, Texas, in Austin's, backyard, it's not going to happen at all. So I'm looking forward to whether these rumors and the speculation of him versus Lesnar at WrestleMania come to fruition, because that would be the money match that would draw people in. You put that on the card along with a Shield triple threat, or Undertaker versus Sting, or John Cena versus, I don't know, God knows who, something like that. You have yourself a money WrestleMania, and that's going to pack in 100,000 people into that AT&T Stadium.